time to review some top stories on our national dailies today. Thank you for staying with us. And to do this with us, we have in the studio our in-house analyst, Ayo Famburewa. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning, Margaret. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And how are you?
Welcome,
Very well.
Ayo.
Good morning.
Welcome to the
Michael.
show.
Pleasure always.
Thank you. We start with the Nation newspaper now. It says the VAT roll, the federal government directs remittance by firms to the FIRS. With the writer saying deadline for August returns expires today. LCCI, we are still confused. Let states grow, says the governor of River State, rather, yes, or Measure 1 Wiki. And coming from the Gombe governor, we can't pay wages without our share. And moving further to the top of the paper, government not interested in naming terror sponsors. 1,182 cholera cases in 13 states within a week. 61 hospitalized in Oyo. Resident doctors reject court's return to work order. Southeast pupils to sit for Miss WASC. And also Buhari to push global COVID-19 vaccine equity to UNGA 76. Finally, on the Nation, power shifts spills north-south groups. Okorocha, APC bound to zone power to south. Now that's the writer for this, and more details on this is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper.
The Daily Sun is next. Electricity tariff to rise. With writers, a policy takes effect from January 2022. Ops man laments inefficiency, say hike will increase hardship. Moving upwards, sit at home, Aba residents defy IPOB. And the Sun Award not politically influenced. River State Governor Wike. Downwards, Sanwo-Olu signs anti-open grazing bill into law. Let's talk about that.
Now to the Guardian paper, the screaming headline here says, high electricity costs overwhelmed South-East businesses. And the writers are saying consumers to pay more for electricity from January 2022. Electricity now represents 80% production cost. 20% of industries in Akwa Ibom Cross River has shut down. And finally, on the right, is saying household laments frequent highs. Man calls for urgent intervention. And moving further down, Buhari arrives New York to push vaccine equity at UNGA. Soldiers, 42 fleeing terrorists die in Niger gun duel. Page 3 has the story. Mustafa reaffirms government's seriousness on mandatory vaccination of civil servants. Page 3 also has the story. Police kill 121 kidnappers, recover 20 guns and others. Details on page 5 of The Guardian. And finally, Okorocha says Northern presidency in 2023 unreasonable. More details on this also on page 5 of The Guardian paper.
To the Punch now. Apapa gridlock persists. Lagos blames NPA. Man laments losses. Riders, NPA closes gates to trucks without reasons. Sanwo-Olu aid. Manufacturers urge government to develop ports outside Lagos. And businesses losing billions of naira to ports congestion, says LCCI. APC will be divided if it zones presidency to north. Okorocha, after 4-year remand, Lagos pastor accomplice rearranged for beheading boy. Oyo PDP dismisses party leader's plan against Makinde. Now let's go to the upper part of the paper. Nigerians spent 2.33 trillion naira on petrol in 12 months. This coming from NNPC. Nigerian diplomats assault in Indonesia closed. Record envoy returns to Jakarta. And it's compulsory for Nigeria's businesses to accept e-Naira. CBN.
Okay, Ayo, we are coming back to you. The hike in electricity, you know, it's been on for a while.
Yes,
and now on the papers, I know Michael read one of it, and
Yes.
also the Guardian top
the
story
Punch.
has it on the punch, yeah?
Yeah, they said the tariff is going to rise from January 2022.
Yeah, another point here is it's overwhelming the South and the Southeast businesses, like Cross River and Akwa Ibom. 20% of the businesses in those states have been shut down. How many more businesses will be shut down? What's your take on this hike in electricity? All right.
First off, is it inevitable? That's one question. We all know the answer. It's inevitable. Remember last year, there was a planned tariff hike, electricity tariff hike, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic and how it ravaged the economy, the government had to sheath the swords, using that figuratively. It was postponed again to this year, but Labour came out all guns blazing, and there has been talks. Now the agreement is pending the conclusion of the talks. But what is sacrosanct is there will be an increase. That means it's inevitable. It's something that we have
If it is inevitable, then why the talks?
Now they are looking at the proportion or the amount of increase. How many percentage now?
Okay.
Because the government has been complaining that it has been subsidizing electricity. That in itself, I have to put that in inverted commas because a lot of debate about that as well. But
whether the subsidy was real or not?
Not that it was real, but how much subsidy are you putting in this sector? Juxtaposing that with the wrath in that sector. We all know that we have 11 discos.
Okay.
How many of those discos have been functioning? Remember last month, 3 times in a row, there was a total collapse of the grid. So we have issues. We have issues right here in the power sector with regards to, we don't have issues with generation because we generate to a large extent. Yes. But we have issues with transmission and distribution. Now, increasing the electricity tariff, will those issues be solved? Margaret mentioned 20% of businesses southeast and south.
South, yeah.
Yes. Those businesses close shop because of issues with power. We all know that SMEs are driven by power. Now, they close shop because of the shortage of power and high cost of diesel to run their businesses. Now, with the increase in electricity tariff, you ask the question, how much businesses will close shop due to this? Your answer is as good as mine. How many people will be thrown into the labor market? Your answer is as good as mine. Can we shy away from an increase in electricity tariff? The answer is no. But what are the things the government needs to do to cushion the effect of this electricity tariff? Are we going to have an increase in the supply of electricity? We all know that some parts of Nigeria are not even covered. We still have issues with off-grid. So those are the issues that needs to be put on the table and trashed out before January 2021. And we all know that January 2022 rather, and January is like the longest month in the year because a lot of people are with cash strapped and all that. So will January be a good time? I don't think so.
But if this
increase
takes effect,
yes,
alongside regular power supply, I don't think people would complain so much.
Yeah. I think you have something to fall back to. You're paying for something.
You're used.
I love what Michael just mentioned. In an ideal situation,
yes, it makes a lot of sense.
A headache, but is the purchasing power of the average Nigerian increasing or decreasing? The answer is decreasing. People are earning lesser wages. People are spending more, not just on electricity now, people are going to be spending more on transportation. Remember, fuel will be increased. The government has been subsidizing. So we're dealing with, now I see Michael nodding his head. And
the future honestly looks bleak.
Belts.
All right, you mentioned that generating is not really an issue, but somehow it's looking like an issue because now, if you generate enough, is it that You mentioned distributing is normal, like you should probably generating enough.
Yes.
If generating enough, distributing might really not be an issue. Or don't you think the problem right now is from the generation or generating this electricity? Because we have one of the major, we have the Ganges Dam here.
Yeah.
So why the questions are, even countries that don't have as much resources as we have, they have steady electricity. So don't you think the problem is coming from the roots and not just the branches or the leaves?
Now, generation, we all know that generation, well, ideally speaking, generation has not really been an issue, but transmission now, that's the part that the government is handling. That's it, the transmission company of Nigeria, that's TCN. Though that's where the issue of the total collapse happened. So, for me, if we can solve that chain, generation, transmission, distribution, then I think we'll be moving a step closer to having our power being restored.
Ayo Famurewa, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on
Margaret.
this. All right, that was
Thank you
Ayo Famurewa, our in-house analyst. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll dive right into the topic for the day. Don't forget, the conversation doesn't just end in the studio. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms and also the live chat below. We'll be right back.